Good morning. Welcome to Monday's Early Morning Intuitive Guidance. I'm Dr. Bonnie Nussbaum, here with some words of wisdom to start your day off well. And I'm laughing because I see the same image every day, right? It's reflected back to me. All of a sudden I'm going, what is that? And I realized I have the top file drawer out because I pulled out my car insurance file because the windshield took a hit yesterday and I need to call them. Good morning, Joe Neal. Welcome. You're the first one popping on today. Glad you are here. So yes, so the drawer's sticking out so that I remember I have pulled out the paperwork to contact the insurance company and deal with the windshield. So, did have a lovely time yesterday with my daughter and the bump and her soon-to-be mother-in-law. Very nice gathering, and we sorted out the extra details for the baby shower. And somewhere hiding here, hang on a second, is her cute little invitation. So I'm all excited about that. So, yeah, it was a good trip. You hit a deer on Saturday. Bummer. That is such a bummer. And welcome to Wisconsin and Michigan and Minnesota and all the things, right? That is such a bummer. How much damage? I hit a deer at one point with a brand new vehicle, and I think it was like $15,000 damage, and they didn't total it because it was a brand new vehicle. I have a friend who just had an accident and took the mirrors off her car, but because it was a 2013, it's totaled. Yeah, insurance, strange stuff. So we'll give it a minute for everybody to pop on here. We have a lovely card today. So yes, I'm excited about this card and excited about this week. Tomorrow, my dad turns 91, and he's never liked his birthday because it abuts Christmas so closely. So, not a whole lot. Bounce off the hood. All right, there we go. I won't be surprised if it's still a boatload of money, because that's just the nature of vehicles at this point. You look at it crooked and it's $1,000. So, good luck with it. Good luck with it. I don't even know what my deductible is for a windshield. We'll see. But that way it was disconcerting. I'm tootling through Green Bay, which is, 4 or 5 lanes across, and all of a sudden, bam, and it was not that far off from where I look out. So, definitely had to jump. So let's do some tapping and some breath. And I think today let's do a whole round because many people are geared up for the holidays. I'm not feeling geared up because we don't do a whole lot. We have a nice meal and call it good. But I know there are a lot of people who are rather wound up right now. So let's do something to calm and soothe our central nervous system. Good morning, Miss Janice. I'm so glad you're here. Good morning, good morning. So we're going to do a round of tapping to calm our nervous system. I may throw some words in there. I may not throw some words in there. We'll see what happens. But let's start with the side of the hand. Good morning, Barb. Glad you're here. Welcome. Side of the hand by the baby finger, karate chop spot. Yeah. Yeah, no, then we'll kick into Christmas mode. We'll make it worthwhile. Actually, Derek already has. He decorated their whole house, and he's been putting together all the furniture that's been showing up for baby. And I'm doing the stroller car seat combination thing. And so that showed up, and he goes, "Do you want me to put that together?" And Lauren goes, "No, sit still for a little bit." So, side of the hand by the baby finger. This is just our reset spot. Good morning, good morning. And as we're tapping here, this is just signaling our body. Good morning, Nancy. Good morning, Mel. Hello, hello. Happy beginning of a new week. Yes, absolutely. This is just signaling our body reset. Reset. And I like doing both sides. You can do whatever you want, but I like doing both sides. Good morning, Abigail. Glad you are here. Lots of people rolling in. All right, inside corner of the eyebrows. We're just doing an energetic reset. Outside corner of the eyes. I want you to think about your whole nervous system just taking a big sigh of relief. Under the eyes. Beginning to slow the tapping a little bit. under the nose. A little bit of breath coming into your whole body. Under the mouth, even a little bit slower. Ratcheting everything down. Feeling a flow beginning to happen. Collarbone. Like when they begin to loosen the pressure on your blood pressure cuff, and all of a sudden you can feel the thump again, right? Under the arms, feeling the thump. You can do this anytime you want, over the course of the entire holiday. If you're standing in the grocery line, if you're waiting for a light to change, if Great Uncle Harry is droning on and on about things that you believe one way and he believes another, around the crown of the head. I think we're going to do one more round. Inside corner of the eyebrows, calm. Outside corner of the eyes, serenity. Under the eyes, tranquility. Under the nose, peace. Under the mouth, joy. Let's move into some joy here. And no one can steal your joy. You get to keep it, regardless of what's going on around you. Collarbone. Unflappable. And today's card, I think, is going to fit in here just lovely. As always, right? Under the arms. Peaceful. And around the crown of the head. Nice deep breath in. And out. How does that feel? Hopefully a little more placid. A little more placid. Yeah. So today we have the Allowing Prayers deck by Siobhan Nash. 57 Invitations to Spark a Conversation with Your Soul. And this one I think is so, pardon the pun, timely. Allow time. So again, if one or more of you wants to post these prompts, that would be lovely. What stops you from devoting time to yourself, to what is meaningful and fulfilling for you? Take a breath. Let it go. What stops you from devoting time to yourself, to what is meaningful and fulfilling for you? And while you're pondering that question, I want to give you a way to think about this. And this comes from Stephen Covey, but there's a quadrant, four squares, right? And it's things that are urgent and not urgent, and down the side is important and not important. And what he says is we spend way too much time on urgent, not important. That's things like phones ringing, emails binging, text messages, someone running up to you and saying, hey, I need you to take a look at this. That's all things that are seemingly urgent. Good morning, Beth, but they're not important. Thank you, Mel. Greatly appreciated. We spend far too little time in the square designated not urgent, but important. And that's like spending time with friends that you don't often hear from. That's like taking time to have a conversation with someone who might be a little challenging to have a conversation with. That might be getting your powers of attorney filled out and your will taken care of. That might be clearing clutter in your house. Those things aren't urgent. They're not knocking on the door. They're not demanding attention. But they're so, so, so important. So how do we begin to shift? And I'll get to question 2 in a moment. But how do we begin to shift from the things that demand our attention, where we feel like we're playing whack-a-mole all day long, to the things that aren't calling for our attention, but they really matter? What's most important? Even just answering that question, What's most important? And do you want to know the time that we're really the best at honoring what's most important? Right about the time that we just about lost it. Whether it's something like we have a car accident, we're like, oh, holy shit. Or someone has a health scare. And sometimes we then beat ourselves up like, oh my God, I waited too long. I waited too long to deal with this. Take the time. Take the time. It's not wait for the time. It's take the time. Okay? Here's our second question. What would you do if you embraced the truth that you are worth your own time? What would you do if you embraced the truth that you are worth your own time? And not just that you are worth your own time. What is meaningful and fulfilling to you is worth your own time. And I ran into multiple incidents this weekend where people were making it clear, women were making it clear that they didn't think they were worth that time. And they certainly didn't think they were worth other people's time. And they didn't think they were worth asking for what they wanted and needed. And I was just struck by how many situations there were like that. One of them that came up was someone talking about a pregnancy. It wasn't my daughter, talking about her history of a pregnancy. And I was asking, what do people crave when they were pregnant? With my son, it was liver and onions. Now you couldn't chase me. I'd run 10 miles to get away from liver and onions. But when I was pregnant, it was probably an iron thing. Even though I was on prenatal vitamins. And then with my daughter, it was McDonald's filet of fish. Square fish. Yeah, haven't eaten that since either. But for whatever reason, those were what I craved when I was pregnant. So this particular person said that she had craved Cocoa Puffs. But Cocoa Puffs were expensive, and they were on a shoestring budget. And she wouldn't allow herself, she didn't value herself enough to buy the Cocoa Puffs very often. So at some point, the grandma of the father of this baby that she was carrying showed up with a bag of about 6 boxes of Cocoa Puffs and said, eat these Cocoa Puffs. We can do that for people. If people haven't yet worked themselves around to, I am worth X, whatever X is, we can assist them a little bit. Let's assist them a little bit. Maybe we take them shopping and we buy it for them. Think about it. With those kinds of things, I'm just going to make one up here. The other day I tipped a waitress, I think the bill was like $22 and I threw a 20 at it. Because she was working her ass off, she didn't have a whole lot of help, blah, blah, blah. Statement for 2026, I am worthy. Yes, 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 yes. And then, how will you demonstrate that to yourself? How are you going to show yourself that you are worthy? What's it going to look like behaviorally? What's going to look different? And it may be that you take the actions first, and then the belief begins to come around. Sometimes that's how it goes. That's that, they call it fake it till you make it. But I don't think it's really faking. I think it's practicing. Practice, practice, practice. And practice makes adequate. We don't have to have perfect. Practice makes adequate. That's what we're aiming for. Yeah. So, what would you do if you embraced the truth that you are worth your own time? One for me is taking 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the morning to do my journaling, do my breath work, do my cacao ceremony. That's me valuing me. That's me valuing me. What can you do? What would it look like? What would be one little thing that would look different? It might be you don't answer the phone when it rings. You let it go to voicemail. If it's important, I'll call them back. It might be that you put the tip of your tongue against the roof of your mouth and make that O sound more often. No. It might be that you take some time in the day to appreciate everything that's around you. Pick out the things you appreciate. Spend some time in gratitude. Whatever it is for you. Put some in the feed. Give others the idea. What are some things that you can do to show that you've embraced this truth, that you are worth your own time? What would it look like? What might it sound like? What do you think it would feel like when you're doing that? For me, it's a real centered, grounded feeling. When I sit down and I plop my cacao on the desk and I open my journal, it's a very grounded feeling. I love that. I love that. So, that's it for today. Allow time. Practice today. See how it goes. Throw some more comments in the feed. Let's see what comes up. Have an awesome Monday. We'll see you again tomorrow. Remember, you're capable of far more than you think you are. Bye-bye.